The time is now. Women in tech, the time is now. Create opportunities. This should be a part of your plan. You must create opportunities. How do I do this, Juanita? Stay curious. You find a problem and you be the solution. Well, when creating opportunities, you must first, we'll just get right into it, okay? Hey guys, listen, so y'all know I'm a data nerd and 88% of you guys that are watching right now are not subscribed to the channel. So if you are finding value in this content, can I ask you to do me a favor? Could you subscribe to our channel? What this allows us to do is to continue to keep adding value, bringing insights and the latest in trends around customer experience, employee experience, business profitability, workforce management. Thank you so much for being here. You are truly valued. We appreciate if you would subscribe and follow us for more information. On the heels of a raging pandemic, companies all around the world are asking themselves, how do we create better customer experiences? And they're not asking, how do we increase revenue? How do we create better products? How do we go to market first? And while these are all real questions, relevant questions, and I'm sure they are asking this somewhere around the world, right? The most pressing question right now that's ringing through all of the C-suite halls are, how do we create better customer experiences? And I started looking around and I said, did you know that I found this stat? Did you know, I didn't know this and I'm in the space. Did you know that CCaaS, contact center as a solution, is predicted to increase by over 15%, making it a over $30 billion industry? That's billion with a B, okay? Just in case we're confused, okay? And I said, man, the time is now. Women in tech, the time is now. In parallel to this question of customer experience, how do we solve for this challenge? Companies all around the world are responding to social unrest of the murder of George Floyd, the death of Sandra Bland, Breonna Taylor, LGBT community rights, these rights, women's rights of their own bodies. There's a demand for companies to respond and show that they are culturally and socially aware of the issues that are impacting their employees that push their vision forward every day. You are uniquely positioned because while DE&I, diversity, equity, inclusion, is not a new initiative, it is definitely one that has taken the forefront more recently. Would you agree? I again submit to you that you are uniquely positioned because women in tech is coming right on the heels of this DE&I initiative. Everything is women in tech, women leadership, women executive roles. It's a great talk. It's a great initiative. Again, you're uniquely positioned to take a piece of this 30 billion, that's billion with a B, piece of the pie. You said, well, Juanita, I'm uniquely positioned. How so? How do I take advantage of this 30 billion? You can see I was taken with that, right? $30 billion pie. And I begin to think, well, you gotta have a CEO plan. And one would say, well, Juanita, I'm not a CEO. I guess this counts me out, huh? Nope. I would submit to you that you are a CEO. How? Well, I love a good 3-letter acronym. The C stands for create opportunities. This should be a part of your plan. You must create opportunities. That's the C, in case you're still wondering. Create opportunities. How do I do this, Juanita? Well, when creating opportunities, you must first stay curious. You find a problem and you be, yes, I said, and you be the solution. You become the solution. Find a problem, become the solution. I remember when I found myself 14, almost 15, still 14 though, and pregnant, a teen mom. And while most were going to homecoming and working their first jobs in local grocery stores and fast food restaurants, I was starting my journey in corporate America. My junior and senior year of high school, I had what was called OJT, on-the-job training. I had taken most of my classes. All I had left was English 4, English 3. And I was working in a contact center and call center, that's what we called them at that time. I was working in a call center as a customer service rep, and I picked up a book. I saw a book, and it was called Blue Pumpkin. While I know I may look 10, I'm probably dating myself a little bit, okay? So Blue Pumpkin later became, and you'll say, Verint. So Verint is a piece of technology that powers contact centers. And so I picked up the book. It was a user manual. I picked up the book, and I began to fumble through the book and say, I think I can do this. I was curious. I was also a teen mom that had to figure something out and figure it out quick. Because I don't know about you, but my mom wasn't a mom that was like, oh, I'll watch your kids, you know. She was like, you're gonna figure it out today, sweetheart. So, sitting, reading this Blue Pumpkin user manual, I said, I think I can do this. I wanna learn more about workforce management, and this is what I'm going to do. And so I began to learn about workforce management, and I self-taught myself the discipline of WFM, which we would call in this space workforce optimization, all of that good stuff. And I went on to run companies' workforce management departments, companies like United Healthcare, Walgreens, Liberty Medical, companies you know and companies you don't. And I said, man, this is an awesome career. And so I said, listen, I really got into this because I love the technology of it all. So I moved over to the technology company. I was still curious. That curiosity thing, I'm still talking about creating opportunities in case you're still tracking with me, okay? And so I said, man, I want to move over to the technology companies to kind of learn more behind the scenes of how it works. So I moved over to Aspect and then Verint, and went to actually work for the company that got my interest peaked in the beginning. And so I traveled all over the world, and I go to so many different companies implementing their solution. So I've been to Canada, I've been everywhere. I've been all the way around the world, not everywhere, but you get what I'm saying, right? And so I've been all around the world traveling and doing this. And as I began to do that, I began to see that there was a gap between how we as trainers and system engineers and all of these different things train the solution versus how we use the solution in the contact center space. And so I saw that there was this huge user gap. And so I said, here is a problem. Companies are spending and investing millions of dollars in some cases on this piece of technology that they may be using 20, 30, 40, maybe 50%. They're not getting good user adoption. Somebody should fix that. 88% of you guys that are watching right now are not subscribed to the channel. So if you are finding value in this content, can I ask you to do me a favor? Could you subscribe to our channel? What this allows us to do is to continue to keep adding value, bringing insights and the latest in trends around customer experience, employee experience, business profitability, workforce management. Thank you so much for being here. You are truly valued. We appreciate it. Subscribe and follow us for more information. Little did I know that little somebody would be me, right? And so I later started a company, and well, prior to doing that, I had already started the company, but I didn't really know which avenue it would take. And so again, I began to say, create opportunities. And I continued to stay curious about how do I solve for this challenge? And so Solid Rock Consulting was born. And so again, I'm talking about what I want to leave with you is how do you create opportunities? You look for problems and you become the solution. You have to always stay curious. That is so important. Always ask why. Why? 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 I make a habit of it. Just why? Why do we have to do it like this? What do you mean it's always been done like this? I'm reminded of a story. I'll take you on this journey. I'm reminded of this story, my mother or my grandmother, someone told it to me, and it always stuck with me. And they said, well, it was once there was this girl, she was preparing Thanksgiving. You guys may know this story. She was preparing Thanksgiving dinner with her mother. And so her mother used to always cut off the ends of the ham. And she asked her mom, Mom, why do you cut off the ends of the ham? And her mom said, baby, I don't know. My mom used to cut off the ends of the ham. And she said, well, can you call Grandma? Grandma's still alive. You know, can you call her? And so her mom called Grandma, and Grandma said, and so Mom asked Mom, you know, why do we cut the ends of the ham off? You know, I've always seen you do it like that. I don't know why we do it. And she said, baby, I don't know. My mom used to do it like that. I really don't know. Now, this was a lineage that had great-great-grandma still around. So they called great-great-grandma and said, hey, Mom, why do we cut the ends of the ham off the ham? And she said, oh, baby, it's because when I was preparing Thanksgiving dinners, we just had this small little oven, and we couldn't fit the whole ham in the oven. So we put the ham in the oven, we cut the ends off, we prepared it, and then we used the rest for dressings or whatever the case may be. And so all these years, Mom or Mom having thrown away the ends, they thought something was wrong with it, throwing away the ends of the ham until this little girl came and asked the question, why? And so through asking why, not only did they get a full turkey, a full ham, right? A full ham for Thanksgiving dinner, they also was able to save some money. But so what I'm saying to you is stay curious. Always ask why. Even when people say, you know, it's always been done like this. Oh, there's no other possible way it can get done. Always ask why. You will be the most aggravating person in the room, I'm sure of it, because usually I am, but I'm okay with that. I'm okay with that. You have to be okay with people saying, oh, here comes the wire. She's gonna say why. She's not gonna just take the status quo answer. She's gonna ask why. So again, I ask you, what's your plan? And I'm telling you, your plan is the CEO plan. It's to, one, create opportunities through staying curious, asking questions, looking for problems, and being the solution. E, equip yourself and others. It's not good enough just to have a problem that you have found a solution for, and now you have all of these endless opportunities if you're not equipped to handle the overflow or the reward that comes from those opportunities. See, when I started Solid Rock, one of the main missions was to normalize women in technology and get other women involved in technology in non-traditional tech careers. You see, when most time we think about women in technology, we look at women who are coding, or we look at, you know, career paths that you would think about women in technology. No one says, oh, I want to be a woman in technology that is, you know, training or project manager or tech sales or all of these non-traditional tech roles, yet and still they exist. But we don't know how to get into tech. You know, we think the only tech role that exists is being a coder, and that's not so. And so we shy away from technology. And so one of my goals with Solid Rock Consulting was to normalize women in technology and show that you can get into technology in a non-traditional career path. And so I began to figure out ways that I could equip women to learn about technology. And for me, that came along with what my story was with learning contact center technologies. You see, by very nature of equipping, that means that you are creating a space, you are prepared. See, when you are equipped, you are prepared. So you don't just fall into this thing, right? You're not just gonna fall into 30, please believe they're not gonna let you just fall into $30 billion worth of revenue, right? That takes a strategy, that takes a plan, that takes being equipped. And whether this is applicable to anything, right? Whether this is about your business, whether this is about your sales quotas, whether it's about your self-care, whether it's about picking your children up on time from daycare. We'll talk about this later, okay? It's about being prepared and being equipped, okay? So it is so important that as we think about how do I have a plan, how do I take advantage of the opportunities that we are well equipped? And sometimes that does mean self-care. Sometimes that does mean saying no. No is a complete sentence. Say it with me, no. No. That doesn't mean that you're selfish. That doesn't mean that the world is going to end because you said no, and it doesn't need justification. No simply means no. Period. And so when we understand these things, self-care, when we understand putting in the work, I was on a panel not too long ago, and someone, Sheila McGee, the principal analyst, she said, one thing that I love is what that she said on this particular panel is she said, but you gotta do the work. We were talking about women getting involved in technology and, their careers and all of those good things. And I said, that's absolutely true. And to doing the work, that means I have to be afforded the opportunities. I can't do the work if the opportunity's not there, right? So not only do we have to do the work, but we have to make sure that before we can do the work, that there are opportunities there. And I would like to even think that instead of waiting on opportunities, so many times we're waiting on an opportunity, waiting for someone to give us a seat to the table. Bring your own table. Create your own opportunity. Find your own lead list. Create your own lead list. I don't care what you gotta do, just make it happen, right? And so this comes with equipping, not only yourself, but others. It's no fun if nobody else can't come. That's how I feel. So it's not okay to just be the only person in the room that looks like you. So we know that we're in a male-dominated field, and sometimes you are the only woman that's in the room. How do you advocate? How do you bring others alongside? How are you equipping others? When was the last time you said, you know what? I think my sister is a good fit for this role. I think my colleague, she has a skill set that could do this. If you got to think back too far, I challenge you to say, I will not only create opportunities for myself and others, but I will also equip myself and others. And so, lastly, O is taking extreme ownership. Ownership, by the very definition, means to possess. And so many times we, as women, can, and I'm talking about myself, okay? I don't know about nobody else, okay? So many times as women, we can be there for everyone else. We can be mom, we can be sister, we can be daughter, we can do whatever else it is that we think that we're supposed to do. But when it comes to ourselves and our own passions and our own purpose and our own destiny and our own things, we don't take ownership of that. We put it in the hands of someone else. Like, oh, I'll wait for my husband
you.